welcome back to Sunshine and Serenity. And today we are going to talk about something that's been really hard that's happened on our farm lately, and something that we don't often see a lot of people talk about when they're on their homesteading journey. And I just want to be real with you guys, and I want to show you guys that not everything is perfect. We do have things that happen that are, you know, either one out of our control or things that just happen that, you know, we didn't anticipate. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys and be really real and raw and vulnerable, and let you guys know what has been going on our farm here lately. But if you're new, welcome. We're so excited to have you. If you will hit that like and subscribe button, it helps our channel grow, and it just helps us be able to share our story with more people. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for continuing to watch us and support us. We appreciate all of you. So what has been happening recently on the homestead? So first of all, as you can see behind me right back here, my tomatoes are and peppers are still doing great. My tomatoes are going wild. We're still having lots of tomatoes being produced. We're having they're even putting on more tomatoes. So despite us having constant weeks and weeks of triple digit temperatures, no rain in quite some time, we're still under really bad drought conditions here in Central Arkansas. I'm in zone 7B. We're still having a lot of drought issues. We are under extreme wildfire dangers. We are under burn bans. It's extremely dry. I'm very thankful that where we are located, we actually live on, we actually have a high water table. So even though we're in really bad drought conditions, it doesn't appear that way. We still have, our grass is still green. Like, my plants are doing pretty well, with the exception of things like your beans and things like that. So I'm very thankful about that. I think if it wasn't for that and having a lot of my stuff planted in the ground, it probably would not be doing it as well as it is. So I'm very thankful for that. So as you can see, that's doing well. We're getting lots of tomatoes, lots of peppers. I'm putting those in the freezer to be able to get out and can. So that's doing great. Our rabbits are doing great. They are growing. They're getting bigger. Actually, our females will be ready. We'll be ready to breed them for the very first time come September. So that'll be one of our next upcoming projects, is getting the rabbit tractor done. So that way, whenever we're able to breed them and they have their litters, and after we wean them, we'll be able to put them out in the rabbit tractor and at least get one round of breeding babies from them before it gets really cold. And then that way we kind of will know what to expect, kind of how to go about the process. That way, come next year when it's time for them and we can start breeding them, you know, kind of back to back, we'll be able to already know the process and it'll go a lot quicker. So we're gearing up to be doing that in September. As you may or may not know, we homeschool our kids here, and so we're gearing up to start that back up in August. So we're going to be homeschooling as well. So lots of things going on the homestead. I'm actually gearing up to, I'm thinking about fall garden, fall crops. I'm gearing up to kind of transition into the fall garden versus the spring and summer garden. And we're supposed to get lots of rain this weekend. It's probably not going to be enough to bring us out of the drought, but any rain is welcome at this point, and we are excited about that, and we really hope that happens. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on the homestead as far as things upcoming. In the month of August, I actually will be doing all of my, each of my weekly videos will be part of the Every Little Bit Counts challenge. And that was originally started and created by Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead. I will link her channel down below. And she started this challenge and encourages everyone to hop on board with that. And what it is Every Little Bit Counts challenge is you take each day in August, and you take a little bit of time just to preserve something, whether it's dehydrating something, canning something, putting something up in the freezer, just doing a little bit every day, so that way you're not overwhelmed and having to do a lot at one time, especially for us that are busy moms and homesteaders and homeschoolers, and we have a lot going on. So it's much more manageable to do a little bit each day versus a whole bunch, once a month or once a week, or however, especially when you have things coming in from the garden, right? So that's what my videos are going to be in the month of August, is kind of a weekly recap and footage of everything that I have done that week. So if you want to jump on that challenge, hop on over and check out Jessica from Three Rivers Homestead. She kind of does a video explaining everything. And then jump on the challenge, right? Every little bit counts, especially with these uncertain times we're going into. So everything that you can put up and put back is just one more step in being more secure in your food security. So onto this week's topic, kind of switching gears. We have experienced our first loss on our homestead, and that's just something that comes with this lifestyle, is especially when you own animals and you own and you do a lot of what we do, or what we are stepping into doing. You're going to experience loss. It's not always in your control. Sometimes it's just from something that a mistake that you made, and you learn from that, and you try to correct that and move forward in order to not repeat that mistake, and in order to give your animals the best life that you can. And that, even if you make a mistake, it doesn't mean that you are cold or you're callous, or it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing this. It's just something that happens, and that happened to us here on our homestead. So if you have watched a previous video, I had all my mamas went broody, and they hatched out chicks. And they raised all of their chicks, with the exception of one of my hens. She did reject 2 of her chicks because they did hatch a day later than the rest of them. And so what I did was she was attacking those chicks and rejecting them. So I took those chicks, and I put them in their own little brooder, and I went and I added 8 more, so that they would have 8 more friends, because chicken math, right? And so I was raising 10 chicks by hand. And if you had watched some of my videos, I actually created their own, once they got big enough to move out of the tote, I created their own enclosure within the chicken run itself, with their own way to own little hutch to go to sleep at night, with roosts and everything. So I created that so in order for the bigger chicks to get used to, or bigger chickens to get used to them, and them to get used to the bigger chicks, and for them to have space to grow out until we're ready to integrate them into the rest of the flock. And what I did was I created that out of chicken wire. I had some hooks in order to keep that secure and closed, so that they couldn't get out and the big chickens couldn't get in. And so that was working really, really well. So one morning we went out to do everything like we normally do. We put all the waters and the feeders, filled them up. We let the chicks out, and we just made a mistake. We didn't realize that we didn't hook up and close the door all the way. And I didn't realize that we had made this mistake until the afternoon hours, when I went back out to check on them during the heat of the day, like I always do, to make sure everybody has fresh water, make sure everybody's doing okay. And that's when I realized that that door had been left open enough that the chicks could, or the pullets could get out if they wanted to, or the bigger chickens could get in. I went to do a head count of my chicks, and I only counted 9. I didn't know where the other one was, and then I found it across the run, and the other chickens had attacked it till it died. And it was probably one of the hardest moments for me as a homesteader, because the reason we got into this life is we wanted to be able to raise our own food. We wanted to know where our food came from. We wanted to know what went into our food. We want to know that we give these animals the best life possible until it's time for them to serve the purpose that they ultimately serve. I have seen and heard the horror stories of what happens commercially to our food, our chickens, our cattle, like the conditions that they're kept in and the life that they live. And it wasn't something that we wanted to be a part of. We wanted to be able to give these animals their best life and them only have one bad day. But the conditions that commercial farms put their animals in are just horrendous. And so that was one of the reasons why we wanted to get into this lifestyle in the first place. And for me, I felt like I had failed in that aspect. Like, I felt like, it was my responsibility to keep all of these animals safe and to give them a great life. And I felt like I had failed in that aspect because I made a mistake, because I got used to routine and didn't realize that we skipped a step essentially, or missed a step essentially, in taking care of these animals. And so it was really hard for me because I felt like this animal relied on me to keep them safe and to keep them happy and healthy, and I had failed in that aspect, and it made me wonder if you second guess yourself, and it was a really hard day for me, and it was actually a really hard couple of days for me. It was one of my Easter egger chicks, and it was honestly one of my favorites. She was beautiful. She looked like an eagle. I popped a picture of her in the beginning of this video, and she was just beautiful, and I just felt responsible for the possible horrific pain that she endured, and the horrific way that she died, and that I could have prevented that. But like I said, mistakes happen. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna experience loss. You're gonna experience bumps in the road. Things are gonna happen that are not always in your control. And you just have to learn from those things and move forward. Put safeguards in place, or put changes in place so that doesn't happen in the future. And by being transparent about that, you see that not everything is perfect in this lifestyle. Not everything is perfect on a homestead. Not everything is going to go exactly the way that you expect it to go 100% of the time. And we need to be transparent about those things, because if we're not transparent about that, then when those things happen to people who've never experienced them, it'll make them second guess the reason they're doing it in the first place. It'll make them second guess themselves. And within this community, we just need to be transparent with things. So we experienced loss. So I am down to 9 of those chickens now. I'm very thankful, because it could have been a lot worse. They could have all gotten out and all been killed. They could have the chickens could have gotten in there. So I'm very thankful that we only lost one. I'm very sad that we lost any at all. But it's something that happens when you're in this lifestyle. You're going to experience loss. You're going to experience hurt. You're just going to experience things that are not 100% happy all the time. Like, you're going to have crop failures. You're going to have, animal deaths, whether they're in your control or not. So things are going to happen, and you take a couple days. It's hard. It doesn't get easier. I can tell you, if I lost any more animals, it would still be just as hard as the first time we've lost. And it's just something that you just have to, move on forward with, knowing that you did the best that you could, and things happen. So we experienced our first loss on the farm. I am hoping that we don't experience any more losses, at least not anytime soon in the future. We have been more diligent in making sure that we're not distracted and we're doing one task at a time. If my kids go in there to help me, I'm making sure I'm going behind them to make sure everything is sealed up, everything is done correctly, that everybody is in a safe environment and taken care of. So we are just trying to learn from that and move forward and put procedures in place that would help us from repeating that mistake. So this was really hard to talk about because, this happened about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's just taken me just till now to be able to talk about it without really getting upset about it, because I'm really attached to these animals. I really want to give them the best life possible that I can, and I want them to be happy, and I want them to live a life where they're not suffering like they do in commercial farming and commercial agriculture. I want to be able to give that to them. And then when you feel like you've done all that you can and something happens, it makes you second guess yourself. It makes you get down on yourself, and it makes you question whether or not you should be doing this. And let me tell you that is the enemy speaking, that he is trying to get in there and steal your happiness and trying to keep you from doing what you feel like the Lord has called you to do. So I just wanted to encourage you that if you experience something, a loss, or you experience something that happens on your homestead or your farm that is out of your control, don't let it derail you from the ultimate purpose that you feel like God has called you to. And just learn from it, move on, do things better, and just know that that's going to happen. Anything worth doing right, you're going to have bumps in the road, right? So, so we are gearing up for a lot of different things on the homestead. We are still in harvest season. We are gearing up for the fall garden, like I said. I'm going to be putting out the Every Little Bit Challenge series in the month of August. And we're getting ready to breed our does for the first time. This is our first experience doing rabbits, so I will kind of share how that journey goes for us and give you updates and stuff along the way for that. But as always, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for joining me as we share the ups and downs of this journey that we are on. And we hope that you guys are doing well, that you guys are staying safe, and you guys are putting up lots of food, whether that be from your garden or that be from the grocery store, buying food, storing away food. We hope that you guys are preparing the best you can for what is going to be a pretty rough couple of years at least. And so let me know what you're doing in the comments to prepare for the next season that is coming our way. And let me know what you guys are doing on your homestead. I know if you guys are gardening, a lot of you guys may be in the hustle and bustle of harvest season. I know a lot of the country is actually in a severe drought, needs rain situation like we are. And a lot of people are not able, they're just letting their crops go and resetting and hoping for the best for fall. So I want to encourage you that if your gardening season is not going as planned, to keep with it, continue on, start thinking about the fall garden, because you can start planning for that and get that going, and hopefully that will go much more smoothly for you if you guys are experiencing extreme heat and drought like we are. So thank you guys for joining me. I will see you guys next time. Bye.